not only does it require for members of the police department to be down there and members of the community to also help us out, because it was incredible what people from the community did yesterday. People who tried to intervene, people who actually recorded the incident, which gave us additional evidence that we needed to piece together questions that we had. But it's also important that the NYPD enforces quality of life. It's important that we enforce theft of service and people who are not paying the fare. Oftentimes we see people enter to the subway station looking to cause harm, and they never pay the fare. So this is why we stress to our officers it's important to address theft of service, but at the same time I want to stress that we never ever diminish our officers' authority to show discretion if it's a young child who doesn't have the money to pay fare, if it's a working parent, someone looking for a job who doesn't have the money to pay fare. Our officers have that discretion to speak to the people, understand what happened, record their name, but do not issue them a fine. So we will continue to be in our subways. We will continue to address theft of services, people not paying at the turnstile. But I want New Yorkers to rest assured that we will use our discretion and be fair to people as well. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. And you know what? Commissioner Daughtry, our Commissioner of Operations, has been enforcing, he's been down there leading the charge, enforcing theft of services, quality of life conditions down in the subway system. And I'll just let him speak a little bit about what he's been doing down there and why he's been doing it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Department Madry. Just like the Chief said, sometimes people ask why would we do such a big operation for somebody not paying the $2.90 fare? It's not fair for the average New Yorker, the regular day New Yorker, to go to work every day, swipe their MetroCard, pay their fare. But like the Chief said, we are seeing a small group of people, a small group of individuals that we catch during these fare evasion operations that are recidivists, that have warrants, that have guns, that have knives, and they don't pay their fare. So it's important for us to keep doing these quality of life operations. Like I have previously said before, small things as walking through an exit gate or emergency gate, hopping over the turnstile, lead to big things. We, like the Chief Madry said, we want our officers to show discretion. We want them to show empathy. Every interaction matters when encountering a person that's not paying their fare. I personally observe officers from the transit district and the TRT teams while watching the operation. One juvenile hopped the gate. He was playing a basketball game, and he also went to study at the library. Those are the people that we show empathy to. People that carry guns, knives, that have warrants after we run their name for hopping the turnstile, guess what? They don't get no empathy. They get no compassion from us. They go to jail. So, Police Commissioner Caban, Chief Madry has also tasked me to look for new technology that we can implement down here in the transit system, which I'm currently doing. I'm searching the globe trying to find new technology that we can use down here to help keep New Yorkers safe. We all heard about what happened yesterday, but nobody's talking about the millions and thousands of people that got to their destination safe. So we let this one incident, and I know that it's going to leave a traumatic experience on the people that were affected by this. But also, there was people that got to their destination safely. So millions of people that got to their destination safely. And like the Chief said, the 8-4 precinct officers and the transit response team were doing a Tom's check, right? Where the officer parks their car, they walk downstairs, and they go check on the platform. As the officer hit that first platform, he heard the shot. They immediately took out their weapons, and as people were running up the stairs, they were running towards danger. So these officers should be commended for what they did, because they didn't know what they were getting into. They heard 4 gunshots and immediately thought the worst thing was going to happen, and they went towards danger. So I applaud these officers.
All right, so we'll take just a couple questions. As you know, this is still an active investigation, so we'll take a couple questions, and then we'll transition to, then we will transition to St. Patrick's Day security. Carlos?
Juliet Papa, 1010 wins.
Chief or Commissioner, what's involved when you stop somebody from fair beating? Does that involve research? What is the procedure? Things you think you're able to follow?
So when the officers engage an individual that does hop the turnstile, they ask them for their identification, and they do a warrant check to see if the individual is a recidivist, where he cannot get a transit recidivist, where he cannot get a tab summons, he has to get a criminal summons, or if he has a warrant. If the officer does find a person that has a warrant, immediately they place under arrest, search incidental to lawful arrest. They do recover weapons, knives, drugs, etc.
We'll move over. Andrew Siff, NBC.
Chief, is there body camera video? We're talking about the 8-4 cops and the transit cops responding so quickly and things are going crazy. So their body cam video would most likely show this. Is it possible to release some of that body cam video to give us a sense of what they went through?
Well, yeah, I can't release that body worn camera just yet. Remember, this incident's not even 24 hours old. This is still an active investigation by the Kings County District Attorney's Office, along with members from the 84th Precinct Detective Squad, Transit Detective Squad. But what we're doing here, and I know we're kind of piecemealing information out, but we just want to make sure we're updating New Yorkers and updating the media as much as we can. So we wanted to provide this additional information that we got. But as the investigation unfolds, I'm sure we'll be releasing more video. We'll be doing further updates, and ultimately our great district attorney here in Kings County will make a decision on what's going to happen as far as charges.
Inside the district.
Chief, we're looking at that video. It seems like this person was perhaps disturbed. And it seems as though, it's the type of person that we've all seen on the subway before. First of all, are you identifying him, and does he have any priors?
He is identified. I'm not going to speak to priors at the moment because the detectives are still investigating, so I don't want to speak to that. I don't know what's sealed, what's open for discussion, but it's part of the active investigation. I saw that video. I think I had the same thoughts as you. It seems like the male was making inferences like he was a police officer as he was speaking to the person he was having a dispute with. And again, it's just something that is very alarming. We know that we have people in the subway that suffer from mental illness, and this is why it's important that the police department do play a role along with clinicians and people who are really qualified to deal with this, because you saw what the results were yesterday.
All right, we're going to take 2 or 3 more before we move on to security. Jay Dow, Pix 11.
Hi, Chief. So
Jay, what's up?
This incident produced a lot of strong reactions among the public. Does the fact that he was able to enter the system with a gun bolster the case for the introduction of metal detectors or some kind of more intense screening to prevent weapons from being brought into the system?
I think it does support that. I'm not saying it personally, but when you lay out the evidence and the facts, someone walked into a train station with a gun, and then everyone here saw the video. You saw a fairly crowded A-train car where people were laying on top of each other, scared because someone drew a gun at that point. So, I'm not saying that I'm for or against, but I think it just does support that.
All right, we're going to go Sam Reeves.
Did the 36-year-old jump the turnstile to get into the system? And how many guns have you confiscated this year in the subway system?
He didn't jump the turnstile. He walked through the gate. He walked through the gate to get in, and I'll get back to you with how many guns. You do have it?
Yeah,
17 guns. I was mixing up this year and last year. We took a lot of guns last year. This year it is 17 firearms removed from doing operations just like this, addressing quality of life infractions and people not paying the fare.
NYC.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, I think this is the last question on this topic. I just want to thank the New Yorkers that flooded our tip lines with sending us videos, sending us tips that were on the train or may have heard what happened. I just want to say thank you. And if you think you may have seen your video, the same video that you may have taken on the train, please send that in. We encourage New Yorkers to send in all tips and all videos so we can help put this case together.
Commissioner Dorfman, you spoke a few minutes ago about when people were able to get to work on time to get wherever they were heading to. I mean, there's a perception out there that you all acknowledge that people don't feel safe. Even if a shooting in downtown Brooklyn might not necessarily affect a commuter in Flushing, Queens. So what do you hope to accomplish by pointing that out, that despite that shooting, so many people went on that day?
Here, Rocco, the perception issue is really a lot of that has to do with DCPI. A lot of that has to do with how we communicate about the safety of the city. When you think about our transit system, there's nothing comparable to anywhere else in the country. We move around over 200 million riders per year. And at the end, we're talking about every victim matters, but we're talking about a very minuscule amount of violence that happens in our system. While it can be polarizing and it can put people in fear, we understand that, but we are keeping a large system and a large amount of people safe. And as Commissioner Daughtry said and Chief Maggi said earlier, yesterday alone, millions used that subway system. And we're talking about one incident. However, it's an important incident, and that's why we put the resources that we need into each and every incident to investigate it. So perception, a lot of it has to do with how we talk about our safe transit system in New York City, even though sometimes we do have incidents. I don't know any place else in the world you can move around over 200 million people and never have an incident that takes place.
I guess it's just a matter of the timing. In other words, I guess what I'm asking is right after this shooting the right time to make a statement?
I think absolutely, because no matter what the timing is, the fact is that coming through the turnstile or the security gate without paying has not changed. And when I said about fundamental principles, our mayor was a transit cop in the 80s, early 90s. It didn't change back then. If you want to keep the system safe, the first thing you got to do is keep bad people out the system who don't pay. So this is perfect timing to talk about that.
Can you answer that, sir? And let me just add to Commissioner Shepard. Obviously, we had a tragic incident that happened yesterday. Millions of riders rode the subway yesterday. The Subway Bureau, Transit Bureau took 6 crimes, including the shooting. 6 out of millions and millions of people that boarded this our subway system yesterday. We go to the next 6 crimes, 6 index crimes.
Index, yeah. Yeah. We can get back to you on that one, Rocco. You know you can reach out to DCPI. We'll get that number for you. All right? So let's transition over to our St. Patrick's Day Parade and security. And first I have Chief Maggi just update the time, the starts, the route, and then we'll take some security questions, all right?
So tomorrow, March 16th, not 17th, tomorrow, March 16th, we'll be celebrating our 263rd annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, the oldest parade in Manhattan, the second largest parade in the city behind the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Tomorrow, the events will kick off at 11 o'clock. It starts on 44th Street on 5th Avenue. It's going northbound on 5th Avenue, counterflow, all the way up to 79th Street. Our second longest parade in our parade season. Again, only behind our Thanksgiving Day Parade. We will have about 150,000 participants, over 400 acts. And we will have about 2 million viewers out there that, again, the NYPD will keep safe. We will keep safe. No one does it better than this department. In terms of threats, we have no credible threats at this moment. As always, our intel division is monitoring open sources, the internet, things of that nature to make sure they don't become aware of anything. And we will have numerous resources out there from the NYPD and other local, state law enforcement agencies. We will have assets that you can see. We will have assets that you can't see. We will have our K-9 unit out there, our aviation unit. Our drones will be out there if needed. Our strategic response group, our counterterrorism division, and of course, our patrol, transit, and housing resources as well.
All right, so let's take a couple questions on security. Parade security?
Everybody wants to talk about Hoyt and Skimmerhorn. Nobody wants to
Parade.
talk about the parade.
Security?
You got Jay Dow, Chief?
Not.
Jay Dow, pix
We move
11?
on.
Jay, thank you for this question right here. Everybody want to talk about Hoyt and Skimmerhorn. What's up?
In light of everything that's happening, is there any kind of messaging that you want to send out there? Because obviously a lot of people are going to be using the same system
Absolutely.
that was in news from yesterday's news.
Absolutely. Listen, tomorrow's a festive day, and we encourage people to take the train because we don't want people getting in any other kind of peril. We will be out there. We will have numerous cops out there. We'll be in the train stations. We'll be on the parade route. We're here. We're here to protect New Yorkers, and what we ask all New Yorkers is that old cliche, if you see something, say something, all right? We need people to step up. We saw people step up yesterday, recording the incident, trying to separate the people. New Yorkers are the best, and we need that help from them. This is how we keep people safe. This is how we increase public safety. This is how we increase police safety.
Nothing else, right? On security? Got it. Take care, everybody. Thank you.